Welcome to Forensic Friday.
Where we examine the intersection of true crime, psychology, and the heart of being human in the middle of it all. Okay, so my brow girl, love her to death. Shout out Amy, she's amazing. Um, we
She
can
went too
never
dark.
get it quite right. So it's either too light or too dark today. Today is dark. The good news is it dies down in a couple days.
Yeah.
The first time I'd ever had them tinted, they were black, thick Eugene Levy eyebrows.
Oh no.
Oh my gosh. Yes. So they're a little dark, but look at my lashes. I've been growing them.
Looks great.
What? Right? You can't tell, but thank you.
You can't
I've been
tell.
working on them. I've been putting my lash serum on them every night.
Hmm.
I know.
Does that stuff work? I'm
I
always
need
scared.
all the help I can get with my surgery on Monday. I just want to I'm going to be makeupless for like a week, so I might as well at least have brows and lashes.
Hmm.
Priorities.
Love that.
Priorities. How are you doing?
I am so tired.
I know you are. You're just so pregnant. So, your girl is in between surgeries.
Yeah, dude, you're insane.
I had,
That's the nicest thing to say about it, but that's,
it's okay. I'm used to you. So,
I know.
I had an airway surgery last Friday. So basically, I have this really rare, like one in a million thing where my airway just slowly tries to close up over time,
Hmm.
typically like once a year,
Yeah.
which is really weird. Sometimes I think God's just trying to shut me up, which is okay. I understand. I have a lot to say, and sometimes I need to stop. But I got that sorted out. So they widened that, and then I have a partial hysterectomy on Monday.
That is so wild.
I know. So you're having a baby. I will be having no more babies.
We're not even that far apart in age, but
I know. It's okay though. You're gonna come hang out with me and we're gonna watch shows and eat pie. I'm gonna have chocolate pie. I can't wait. I'm so excited. Have
mm,
you ever had my chocolate pie?
no,
It's the best thing my grandmother gave me.
I want it.
It's amazing. It's homemade and ridiculously good.
I want it.
Well, you will have some. Just got to come visit me.
I love that.
I know. So I've been
Okay,
kind of
visit.
anxious though, because I know we were talking about it yesterday, but the robot situation in the OR is wild. I mean, it looks like an alien or like an octopus with blades, and I don't know how this is all going to work. Like she drew me a graph, like a
I
little
know.
chart, but I'm still not convinced.
You showed it to me, and I'm like so intrigued by it. And they go through like your belly button.
They're going to go through the belly button. They are.
So insane.
I know. I think they go in a couple other places too. I don't know.
Uh-huh.
It's gonna be weird. It's gonna be weird. It's
It's,
just gonna be weird. But
I'm so
it's
stoked.
kind of funny.
Hmm.
But I wake up out of anesthesia. I either want to sleep for days
Hmm.
or I am like alert net. Like, I mean, I sit straight up, like, I'm supposed to be on antibiotic and the name is blah, 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 blah. And can you call my doctor? His number is blah, 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 blah. I mean, it's wild. Like, I come fully back or I want to sleep for days. There's no in between with me. How are you after anesthesia?
I'm a weirdo.
You're a weirdo?
I remember the first time when I was a kid, I had to go under anesthesia because I had all these tummy issues when I was a teen.
Yeah.
And I had to go under anesthesia and I woke up and I was crying. Oh, I had an endoscopy. That's what I had. And I
Oh.
was like sobbing,
Well, some
crying.
people really cry hard coming out of anesthesia.
Yeah, I did. And so I was like in tears and I was like, why am I crying?
Oh.
My mom was like, it's okay. They said this is normal. And I was like, oh, why am I so sad?
What happened? Something must have happened.
Yes. That was like my first memorable experience. And then I had to go under anesthesia for my second knee surgery, my first one I didn't go under. They just like basically gave me some form of epidural.
Okay.
Watched my surgery on a screen, but I was like super loopy, so I could
Oh,
have like
totally. Yeah.
fell asleep
They
during something.
sedated you pretty good, probably.
Yeah. But for my second one, they put me under, and I don't know, man. I feel like I tell them like my deepest, darkest secrets.
You know how they're like, just breathe normally. I'm like, get it in there. Like, I want to be out. Like, put me out. I don't want to see
So
anything. I don't want to talk to anybody.
I
Once I'm
know.
in the OR, I'm all serious business.
Yeah, that's fair.
Serious, serious business. Well, and then I've seen you on Percocet before, and it's enjoyable.
Yeah, I'm a whole thing. When I'm on Percocet, I feel so like everything's really loud.
No, I think you just were sitting next to me. I don't know
No,
if the world is loud. I think I was loud.
no, that it wasn't because I remember I went to a restaurant right after surgery when I was still up in
Hmm.
Summit. And we went to dinner and like people, it was like so loud, but I like couldn't
Oh.
hear the person that was talking to me. It was so weird. And then my the person sitting next to him who was also with us was like making fun of it. And I was like, oh, I can't even,
Oh, well,
you
I
know.
can't sleep on them because of the ADHD. So, they give it to you so you'll be comfortable and rest and all of that. And I literally shop
Yeah. Oh gosh.
incessantly all night long.
So
It's terrible.
Gare's like, oh my gosh, this is not good.
I mean, it's probably good for you and Baby Gray and my wardrobe, but it's probably not good
Perfect.
for my bank account,
Yeah, it's
you
fair.
know?
Hmm.
So, the eyebrows, dude.
I know your eyebrows look like you have anxiety.
I mean, my eyebrows are making me anxious. They look like they're going to come through the screen at you.
You should probably take a picture so we can show people when we post this episode.
They're so bad. Well, I'll just take one and then I'll send it to you.
That's perfect.
Hang on. I'm trying.
Don't make that face.
There you go.
Perfect.
I will send it to you. It's
So
wild
for the world enjoyment,
for
it's
the
going
world, but just like filter it a little because I look like death warmed over.
on. Oh
Okay,
my gosh.
so we are going to talk about,
Anxiety today. So I have a question for you, but I'm gonna say
yeah,
having being pregnant, I'm normally an anxious person. Like err on the side of anxious.
yeah.
Being pregnant, also I was laughing. Hold on, my brain's like squirrel. Um, being pregnant, I'm like, it'll get done. I gotta take a nap.
100% priorities. You're growing a human.
I know, but it reminds me of what you said yesterday when you were like, you are exceptional at getting 95% of things done. And then there's the 5%.
Okay, so I laughed. I was halfway home yesterday and I hit like, I don't even know, probably Castle Rock-ish. And
Uh-huh.
I started laughing so hard about that because it's so true.
It's me. I do like I'm like exceptional at getting 95% of the shit I need to get done. And then
95%.
like,
And you do the 95% pretty fast.
yeah.
The other 5% years. It could be years. It may just never happen.
Sometimes it doesn't happen.
Sometimes it just doesn't happen, you know?
That's literally the story of my life. It's not good.
And if there's any kind of system involved, you're gonna need an assist.
Oh
It's never.
Here's when we had to do
Uh-huh.
Medicaid, I was like, I basically have this weird thing where
Yes.
I'll do it, but I'm gonna hold out until someone's like, I'll just help you with it.
Who are you telling? I'm someone. I'm the one. I do
You
the
know,
system for you. We get you going.
I know.
Oh,
I'll
it's
just
so
like
funny.
boycott it, but it's not because I don't want to.
My problem, I will finish all the things. My problem is I will do 15 at once,
Hmm.
which is exhausting for the people around me. That's the
Hmm.
problem with me, but I'll get them done.
Hmm.
But I
Hmm.
jump between them so quickly, it's hard to know what I'm doing. Like when I'm working on three things and you want me to order lunch, and every
Hmm.
5 minutes you're like, Janine, Did you order lunch? Did you order my lunch? Did you order my Diet Dr. Pepper? And I'm like, no, yes, no.
Well, it's like when we're ordering it for our team, I'm like, Janine, we have team meeting in 5 minutes.
So hard to focus on ordering eight people's lunches. I
You
get
should
two
just
done and then I'm like in my email somewhere,
you should just give me that job.
I am gonna, you know what? Consider it yours.
Perfect.
I can't do it. You already have a picture of my credit card number, so just
I
do that.
do. It's great.
You're on it. You are now the czar of food for the
Perfect.
team. There you go. Add it to your resume. Well, and our work team is we're the divas in terms
Mhm.
of the food that we order.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. No one else asked their team. We ask our team.
We ask our team, everyone is picky and has preferences, and that's okay because I do too.
Mhm.
Everybody else, lead meeting, everybody gets the same sandwich. Hi, Jason. You're gonna get the same sandwich.
So funny.
I know. Okay, back to anxiety.
Okay.
But you're not anxious because you're barely conscious.
Yeah. Most of the time.
That's fair. I think that's been relaxing for me though to watch you just kind of
That's sweet.
laze around.
I literally fell asleep. I've fallen asleep in your office. I've fallen asleep numerous times in my office.
Absolutely.
The whole thing.
Uh-huh.
But I'm exceptional at like the 10-minute power naps.
You have
Like
to teach me.
exceptional. Well, you just got to do it in those, like I do like 10 to 15 minutes. If I go
Okay.
any longer, I'll be out.
How do you get your brain to slow down enough to sleep for 15 minutes though? Because I can't do that very easily.
I don't know if it's that I can power it down. I think I'm so exhausted that I'm like at that point where I just need it and then I wake back
Mm,
up fine.
I need to lift weights. That's what I should do. Maybe that would make me more tired.
Truthfully, it's funny. People are always like, once you start working out and lift specifically lifting, they're like, you'll have so much more energy. That's not how I am.
It makes you tired, doesn't it?
When I lift weights, I'm actually more tired. Which I don't hate because
Mm-mm.
when I am struggling with anxiety or bouts of anxiety or stress,
Yeah.
it is helpful to lift. But yeah, it's interesting how it impacts people so differently. But for me, I think because I really fatigue my muscle groups, I'm like exhausted.
Mm. I think I need to start reading again because I sleep better when I'm reading.
Mhm.
Not even just at night, but like when I take breaks and read, it just calms my brain down.
Yeah,
I think that's what I need to do. And maybe I'll lift heavy weights too. We'll see.
do it. It's a
You
great,
know,
you know,
yeah, I'd be good.
exercise and muscle's always good to build.
I mean, I'm not allowed to lift literally. I had to get a different purse for the next 6 weeks. They're like, you can't lift anything over 15 pounds. I'm like, my work bag is an easy 25 pounds,
Easily.
maybe more.
Yeah.
I mean, I could put you under my arm and carry you into work, and it'd be about the same as my work bag.
Yep.
It's wild.
Yep.
So I had to pare down.
That's okay.
I know, but where's all my stuff gonna go, Nat?
Well, you just can't carry all your stuff.
Are you gonna bring extra stuff so that when I need stuff, you'll have it?
Sure, just tell me what to bring.
Okay, I will. We'll team up. I'll be like, could you
Perfect.
bring extra chapstick?
You have that.
I have like 8 lipsticks in my purse. I probably only need one.
Yeah, that's true. That's okay. I have extras too.
Fabulous.
Okay, so we are talking about anxiety today. We said that like probably 10 minutes ago.
Yep. Welcome to
Um,
anxiety.
welcome to anxiety or ADHD. Who knows? Um, what for you, Janine, what is the first sign you have when you are struggling with anxiety?
Ooh, good question. I would say no, it used to be that I would get that like stomach flip feeling pretty
Mhm.
often, like when you're on a roller coaster.
Mhm.
I don't get that as much anymore because I'm a little more disciplined about taking deep breaths because I've learned how to do that.
Mhm.
Probably that my heart starts beating a little bit faster. I notice that.
Mhm.
And if I'm really anxious, like if anxiety hits me quick over something specific, do you ever get like white noise in your ear? Like that almost, you can almost
Mhm.
hear your pulse. I get that.
Mhm. When you have anxiety?
Hmm. If
Wow.
it's bad enough. Yeah.
Dang.
I know, it's not great.
I just get that because I have some weird ear problem.
Oh, I have the same ear problem you have. I think we got the same version of COVID or something because I have that same ear, full ear, like
Yeah,
sound.
it's like it's mine doesn't happen as much as it used to, but it's like it comes in waves. It's like I
Hmm.
wave sounding.
What is your first sign that you have anxiety?
I would say my heart rate feels pretty high. Um, I feel like I haven't had it in so long since being pregnant.
I know you are exceptionally chill.
I know. When you asked me about that application that I literally need to get in,
Oh, I
I'm,
know.
oh yeah, I haven't sent it.
No, in fairness, remember 95%. I didn't really
I'm
expect
done.
you
I'm
to.
like basically done. I just have to redact and then send it.
So we're 98% there.
You know why I do this?
Why?
Well, not for everything. And I will say, when I do the 100%, it's like damn good.
No question. I've hired you twice, three times, twice, and decided to be your business partner.
I know.
I
So
believe in you.
when I do the 100%, it's real good. But
Real good.
I think I do the 95% or 98% in this case because, well, one, for that application, I'm like, do not send it back and tell me corrections because like then they won't happen. And then I'm back to 0%.
Well, you know what's funny? We're in meeting and there's anything that we have to do, and they're like, well, you have to log in here. And I already know. I just put it on my list, do mine and do Nat's.
For
Because
what?
I just,
Oh,
if anything, if there's like a new process,
oh yeah, no, yeah.
they're like, yeah, you guys, you got to log into here to download the. I'm like, nope,
Oh
got to
yeah,
do it
no.
twice, two times. I will do it once for
Well,
me
you
and once
started like
for that.
writing down your steps so I can have your steps.
I've been doing that forever. Yes, absolutely.
I know.
But you are the little engine that could. I've never met anybody that can like work as long as I can.
Yeah,
You're
I'll
the
keep
only
going.
person I know. You can go.
I'll keep going. But if a system's involved,
Yes.
or if I've worked my butt off on something and then you're like, hey, this thing needs to be fixed, I'm like, no, I'm not doing it. Like that's just not gonna happen.
This is why we're a good team because I will always finish the thing, but I can't explain anything. I
Uh-huh.
cannot explain anything.
Uh-huh.
I can't teach anything and I cannot explain anything. I can
I
train.
I can explain things.
I know. This is why I'm so happy to have you with me because I cannot explain my thought process ever.
Oh, I can.
Almost
I can
never.
I can like give you the whole train track.
No, I love it. This is why you're so good at outlining the episodes.
I know they take me like a freaking year, but
Absolutely.
but those are 100% when they're
No
done.
argument, but they're so good. Mine is done on time and sometimes makes no sense.
No, they usually make most sense, but sometimes I'm like, wait, go back to this because
There's
I
a piece missing. Like
didn't.
when everybody thought that Slender Man was a person, and I was like,
And I was like,
I don't
Denise,
know.
you need to like act just for the
Everybody
record. Slender Man is not a person.
happened to Slender Man. I'm like, Slender Man was never a thing.
You know, Slender, just for our listeners, Slender
Yeah.
Man is not a person.
It's not a person. It
It
was
is
a
like an
created
imagination. It is a what do you call them?
an online crowd sourced character. Just a
Yeah, I was
character
gonna
that people made up.
say he's like our imaginary enemy,
Our imaginary enemy. And then
not
someone with
imaginary friend.
schizophrenia just glommed onto it. That's what
Yeah.
happened. But it's not an actual human
No.
or monster. Not
No.
real.
No. Okay,
No.
but I think when I have anxiety, I didn't even answer the question.
Nope.
When I know that I'm struggling with anxiety, I don't sleep and
Yeah.
I have just like thoughts spinning in my head,
Yeah.
like just spinning. And I'm like, okay. And for me, and we'll get into this, for me, it's a mixture usually of anxiety and stress because the anxiety is like the fear of the unknown, right?
Yeah.
Like we're literally scared of what is out of our control and what we don't know.
Yeah.
Stress is more of like what is more in our control, but we just need to do it.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's usually a combination of those things.
We'll be right back.
We did a podcast and Dave talked from the heart about his daughter, who has been in this journey with us, even though she's not present with us. She's been in this journey with us since we started.
Yeah, my sleep suffers too when
Mhm.
I'm stressed.
Yeah, yeah. But then once I like honestly, I've had like days or like weeks where I'll go like half a week almost without sleeping, not like
Hmm.
man, but where I just will like have sleep like a couple hours maybe.
Hmm.
But then after my body calms down, man, I could sleep for days.
I know.
It's wild.
After the flood, I
Oh
was
yeah, I slept for a week.
I was scared to death. I was like, where is she? You just were sleeping.
I know, I slept for a week.
Because I have an anxiety disorder. I think, first of all, I think our whole country has an anxiety disorder. But
Yeah.
I know for me, I meet the criteria and have an anxiety disorder and have
Well,
most of my life.
especially millennials,
Yeah, well, everything's like we've had a crisis every couple of years, it feels like.
literally,
Mm-hmm.
you know. So I think one of the things that I was thinking through, because when you and I talked about doing anxiety or doing a quote unquote mini, I don't think this would be much of a mini, but a midweek.
We're up to we're like 45 minutes in already.
Who cares? You guys suck. But when I was thinking about like how do we talk about anxiety? I was, my brain starts with like every like big, not big picture, but like everything's jumbled, and then I have to figure out how to like
Mm-hmm.
funnel it. You know what I mean? That's every episode I do. That's why it takes me so long, is it's all jumbled. And then I'm like, okay, I need to find a structure to do.
Totally.
And so one of the things that I said was how anxiety comes in many forms and different diagnoses,
Yeah. It
right?
can
Like,
look pretty different from person to person.
yeah, I mean, sometimes anxiety can look like depression,
Mm-hmm.
right? And people like won't get out of bed, like you said, or they sleep
Mm-hmm.
bunch, but most people would diagnose that as depression usually,
Yeah.
right? So we could really get into the weeds with anxiety. So I went to the Google,
The Googs.
and I looked up the most commonly asked questions about anxiety.
Oh, wonderful. What'd you find?
Well, number one, what are the five most common types of anxiety disorder?
Mm. Well, we
And
see these all the time.
yeah, so generalized anxiety disorder is the top one, which is also known as GAD, GAD.
Yep.
Obsessive compulsive disorder.
Yep.
I have a theory on that, but I might keep it to myself. We'll see.
Okay.
Panic disorder,
Mm.
which I think that's increased in the last
Yes.
10 to 20 years.
Have you ever had a full-blown panic attack?
Yeah, it's absolutely horrible.
It's awful. I've only had a couple, but it is truly terrible.
Yeah, I've had three
Oh,
big
yeah.
ones. Hmm.
Yep.
Um, post-traumatic stress dis- post-traumatic stress disorder, which is also known as PTSD,
Yep.
and then social phobia and or, it's also known as social anxiety disorder, which has also increased in the last 15 to 20 years.
Yeah, and I would say too, COVID kind of messed us all up a little bit.
Well, I think COVID, but even before COVID, I think social media has really screwed us with this.
Oh, absolutely. Kids don't like I have seen kids have a harder time talking to each other.
Mhm.
Now, we can text, we can even FaceTime and stuff, but when you're actually sitting with somebody, I think it's
Mhm.
hard for people now to relate the same way.
Well, that, and it's like, I mean, I don't know if you've noticed this. I've like not tested it out, but I've just been more aware. When you're at a social gathering, you look around and there's like a bunch of people scrolling on their phones.
Oh yeah. Or at a restaurant, you look
Mhm.
around,
Mhm.
it's wild.
Yeah. I mean, I know when I'm at social gatherings and I don't know very many people and I don't have a lot of people to talk to, your phone is like your safest resource.
So true. I'm a
Yeah.
little too extroverted for that. If I go, I'm going to be in the middle of everything, or I just don't go.
Yeah.
Those are my two modes.
I literally, y'all, I have to, when Janine and I have plans, I
100%.
literally have to be like, you can't bail or we're not friends anymore.
And even then, it's a coin flip.
I have to like threaten her.
That is not true. I will hang out with you alone or with mutual friends that we really enjoy. But if
Even
it's you and a
sometimes
bunch
our
of
mutual
strangers,
friends.
I'm like, go hang out with the strangers and then come
Oh
on
yeah.
back.
I already know you're gonna bail on that stuff. But even with
100%.
like mutual good friends, I'm like, this is a 50-50 chance.
I mean, it depends how late it is. I mean, I really do turn into a pumpkin. I'm an old lady.
Well, that one conference that we spoke at, I was like, we thought we were speaking the first day. Wait, did we speak the first day or the second? First.
We we were like the third day. We spoke on Thursday. I got there
No,
Monday.
I'm talking about the one in the Springs.
Oh, that the year before
No, this
when I
year.
just didn't go the second day.
Well, yes, but this year I think we spoke
It
on the
was
second
your idea to leave though this time.
this time, but we didn't ditch the whole second day. But here's the
We did.
thing. I literally was like, Janine, because
Oh my
my
God.
car broke down and I looked at Janine and I was like, you have to go this year. Because last year she just bailed on a whole day.
I
And
did.
I was like, Janine, you have to go this year because you are my ride
I
and
have
I'm
a good
going.
reason. I have a good reason.
Doesn't matter. You still
Those
bail.
chairs are so uncomfortable.
Oh, those chairs are terrible.
So the first year I was like, my back hurts. I'm not doing this.
Terrible.
This year we spoke. I was a champion and I even would have stayed for the social event, but you bailed this time.
You were like tapping out. I could see
I
it.
was waiting. I was waiting you out.
You're like, I can't be the one to say we should
I was
leave.
gonna make you the guilty party.
I
She goes, I don't know if I'm like, oh, yep, absolutely. Let's go to the car.
was like, I'm tired. She's like, oh yeah, we're out.
Let's go. I'm a game. Whatever you want to do.
I could have just said, I'm tired. but I'm gonna stay. You
I'd
wouldn't
be like,
even
no,
give it, you wouldn't
no,
even give it a chance.
it's not good for you. We gotta go.
Okay. Second question.
Yeah.
How are anxiety disorders diagnosed? Anxiety disorders can be diagnosed by either a primary care physician or a psychiatrist. And it's if the symptoms occur for 6 months on or occur on more days than not. Does that make sense?
No.
So like if
So if we summarize it,
yeah,
it has to basically happen for at least 6 months, more days than not. And it has to interfere with your ability to function at home, work, or school, or some combination.
yes, yes. But it also was saying, because I read more about this and I just didn't write it down in here,
Yeah.
it doesn't necessarily have to be 6 months.
Yeah.
But if if I have like a 3 month stint of anxiety, what it's saying is more days. So like 5 out of the 7 days I'm anxious. Does that
Yeah.
make sense?
Yes. Well,
Yeah.
and
So
this
it
is
doesn't,
what's interesting is like when you're trying to get diagnosed, primary care physicians are a really good
Mhm.
like first conversation because I think people think they have to go straight to a psychiatrist. That's not true. And it's actually really hard to get in with psychiatrists. And there's a lot of great psychiatrists, but there's also a lot of psychiatrists that don't have the best bedside manner.
Yeah.
Psychiatric nurse practitioners are amazing,
Mm.
often because a lot of times they have been bedside nurses and have all this additional information. So you really can get diagnosed by any of those three and get started on medication if you want to, or just get diagnosed and seek therapy. But
Yeah.
yeah, that's how you would get diagnosed.
Yep. And in order to have insurance pay for your treatment, or therapy, you do have to have a diagnosis. So for me, I do have generalized anxiety disorder because I use my insurance to see my therapist.
Same Z's.
So, so doctors perform a physical and a psychological evaluation to rule out other causes for symptoms of anxiety, cardiovascular disease, thyroid problems, menopause, substance abuse, and or drug side effects, such as a form of steroids, may cause symptoms similar to those of anxiety disorders.
Yep.
Pretty self-explanatory on those.
Yeah.
Question 3, what are the risk factors for anxiety disorder? They can be genetic and environmental. So what do you think that means?
Well, I know for sure in my family, we have a pretty strong line of anxiety disorder. So it affects multiple people in my family. And then also, our environment has an impact on us and situational too. Like, I think depending on what situation you're in, that has an impact.
Yeah, absolutely. Shyness or behavioral inhibition in childhood. So that can cause uh, adults, or just as you get older, that can cause you to be more anxious, and that would probably line up more with that social anxiety disorder.
I was a shy child.
That's crazy.
No, I know, but I was really quiet as a kid.
Huh. Do
I know. Isn't that weird?
you have social anxiety?
No.
Mm. I actually do have social anxiety sometimes.
I mean, maybe I do. I go home. I bail on. No, I just bail because I don't want to go.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think I have too much. I don't like small talk though.
Oh, I hate small
I'm not
talk.
a big small talker. Yeah, I don't love that.
Yeah, I actually do get a little bit of social anxiety at times. And that's like the feeling of it feels more overwhelming to go, not because I'm like tired, but because I'm like, I just don't have the
Mm.
capacity to like turn it on. Does that make sense?
It makes total sense.
One of the things that what I was researching said being a female
Well, I mean,
is being a risk factor.
that tracks. So I think women, well, we presented over the summer, women's brains are more active than men's brains in many areas. And so doesn't mean we're smarter. It just means our brains are doing a little bit more hyperactivity,
Yeah.
anxiety related connections. Like we're scanning the environment for threats, etc. So that makes sense.
Hmm. Being divorced or widowed, which is
Oh,
interesting.
that makes sense.
Yeah. Exposure to stressful life events in childhood and adulthood makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
Close family relatives being diagnosed with anxiety disorder. So that would fall under the genetic
Yeah,
component and also environmental. I mean, if you just have a high stress family member that you are constantly with, or high anxiety,
for sure.
that can cause anxiety in yourself.
Yeah.
And yeah, parental history of mental disorders.
Yep. That
So
all tracks.
yeah, any thoughts of those?
Mm-mm. No, they all make sense.
So, what are common anxiety disorder treatments? Yeah, I'm going to just list them off.
Go for it.
Therapy. Therapy is the one that I use.
I use therapy as well.
Yep. CBT, so that's cognitive behavioral therapy. So basically, if you Google, the best way that I talk about CBT is like A plus B equals C.
Yes. Uh-huh.
It's like
Yeah.
just change your thinking to more logical thinking, but you have to like have exercises to do that.
Yep.
Self-help or support groups. Support groups are always great. We have therapy groups for, that help with some of this.
Yeah.
Um, there's support groups out there. Uh, Antidepressants,
Yeah.
stress management techniques, so like deep breathing,
Mm-hmm.
um, exercise, drinking
Yep.
water, all that stuff. Anti-anxiety medications, beta blockers, and SSRI medications.
Oh, I get to sing my song.
I know, go for it. This is your jam.
This is my jam. Jesus loves me, this I know, for he gave me Lexapro. Thank you, Glennon Doyle. Lexapro is, nectar of the gods. But actually, SSRIs are super effective. They have their own side effects. So
Yeah,
it's not like medication's the answer to everything for everyone,
no.
but they really do help. And
Yeah.
lots of women I know over the age of 45 or 50 are on a combination of Wellbutrin and Lexapro. You are welcome.
Yeah.
But also talk to your doctor and figure out what works for you. And there's some good supplements and stuff out there too. So It's not just medicine. Beta blockers are really interesting, like propranolol, because it takes your blood pressure down. So if you have like a fear of public speaking or a really specific trigger where your blood pressure tends to go up, a beta blocker helps stabilize your blood pressure
Mhm.
because anxiety can move from the body up or from the brain down.
Yeah.
So if my body's stressed and my heart's racing, my brain will find a reason why that's happening.
Mhm.
And if I'm anxious, my brain will tell my body that I need to get ready to fight or flight
Mhm.
or
Mhm.
freeze, right? So beta blockers actually help a lot. I know some really successful women who have used beta blockers successfully in
Mhm.
their work to manage anxiety.
I love that.
I know.
Love that.
That's great.
And then the fifth question, my friends, is what are the best ways to treat children with anxiety disorders?
Oh, and there's so many of them now.
I know. Well, and I think part of it, I have a theory on that. But the first one is parental understanding of anxiety.
Yeah, it helps just to have some awareness as a parent.
Yes, because what I see oftentimes is a kiddo will have symptoms of anxiety and the parent will be like, "You're fine."
Totally.
Instead of trying to understand where the anxiety is coming from.
If you tell your child you're fine or calm down,
Mhm.
you ask yourself, how much better does that make you feel?
When people ask
Because
and
as
children
we've
do that.
established, if your child has anxiety, you may also have anxiety. So what helps you might actually help your child.
Or what it also says, you might have some other mental health diagnosis.
Also true. Yeah,
So check yourself out too, right? Like kiddos, sometimes it is, it passes through genetics. If I'm wired a little anxious, my kiddo is probably going to be wired a little anxious. And be aware of yourself so you can use techniques and then teach your kiddo techniques to calm down,
absolutely.
to calm your nervous system down. Get them therapy and also learn calming techniques to assist. Weird, I just said that.
Well, and also I think modeling, it's okay to be stressed. Model
Hmm.
how you calm down. They will mirror what you do.
Literally.
If you say, go color and calm down, they're going to be like, screw you.
Yeah,
But if you sit
you go
down with
color and
them and
calm
you
down.
but if you calm down, get on their level, and
Mhm.
maybe you color with them for a few minutes, that might work.
Yes, that's what I just said. You go color and calm down, mom.
That's right. Coloring book, go figure it out.
Yeah, well, that's the thing too, is and when I used to run parenting groups, I would get so on their butts about it when I would
Absolutely.
ask them who sends their kid to timeout when for a punishment.
Hmm.
Everyone rose their hand. And I'm like, that's the worst
Mm,
way to discipline your child. If you are telling them to go take a timeout, now they are associating timeouts with discipline and punishment instead of you
mhm.
saying, hey, we all need to take a timeout. Let's go take some breaths. Let's sit down and
Absolutely.
color. Let's do something to calm our nervous system down. Because here's the thing to all you adults out there. Sorry, now I'm on my freaking high horse.
Get it?
Here's the thing about all you adults out there. You have what's called an adult temper tantrum. And when someone tells you, "Hey, go calm down," you're going to blow your gasket. And also, when you're already, on it.
I
When
love
you're
it. Get them, Nat.
when you're already that stressed out in your brain, you aren't going to hear anything. You're not going to hear any feedback. You're not going to hear any criticism. You're not going to hear anything aside from, just getting more mad. So, how the heck is a kid supposed to respond differently when we don't even respond differently?
Yeah, they can't. They quite
I
literally can't.
Literally. So we have to go first and teach them what regulation looks like, what timeouts should look like. Think about sports. I'm a big sports person, you're a big sports person.
Absolutely.
What are timeouts used for in sports?
Calm the frick down and
Huh,
regroup.
regroup. Hey guys, this
Yeah,
plan isn't working. Let's take a
yeah,
second. Let's take a minute. Let's huddle up. We're a team and
yeah,
let's regroup and come at this
absolutely.
differently.
In a relationship, timeout means leave each other alone
Yes,
for a
and
minute.
come at this differently,
Mm-hmm.
you know? Okay. And then also lastly for kiddos, CBT seems to be the best but it depends on why the anxiety is there. I'm a big advocate for play therapy
Yeah, play therapy is amazing.
for kiddos. So for really anything they have going on, trauma obviously is a big reason kids go to play therapy, but acute trauma or death by
Mhm.
paper cuts trauma can cause anxiety
Death
and
by paper cuts trauma.
that's what they should call it.
By 1,000 paper cuts. Oh, you're funny. Would
No, that's what they should call it.
that
Death
be
by
big
a
T trauma or little T trauma?
thousand little T.
Little T, lots of little T.
Lots of
Oh,
little
you're
T's.
great.
That might be what kids are experiencing, especially if they're in a chaotic home.
Well, yeah, we can't assume that we know how people will respond to really anything negative. Everybody is so different, so you can't assume anything.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah. What are your thoughts about the main 5 questions that people ask?
I think it's good. I think that's a good summary. I don't know that we need to go into the details of all of them, but I
Yeah.
think one of the things that happens with anxiety is it manifests as physical symptoms quite a bit.
Mm-hmm.
And so if this is true for kids, but also family members, sometimes family members aren't willing to say that they feel anxiety.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe there's stigma or whatever,
Mm-hmm.
but it can manifest as all kinds of physical things, headaches, fatigue, stomach aches,
Mm-hmm.
sweating, all kinds of physical symptoms.
I mean, shoot, ulcers, you
Oh
know?
yeah, you can get an ulcer. I mean, there's all kinds of stuff. And so
Yeah.
sometimes,
Hormonal problems, all of it.
yeah, and sometimes our bodies are actually trying to tell us something's wrong. And I've talked to parents who get irritated with their kids because they don't feel good consistently.
Yeah.
And with kids, a lot of times it's gut too. That's what we hear is
Yeah.
they just have
Yeah.
stomach aches or they have potty issues or whatever. And a lot of
Yeah.
times that's anxiety rooted.
Yeah.
So if we get into the specifics a different day, just because there's so much to them.
I don't think we have to. Honestly, for those of you who are listening to this, I don't even think we need to get into it at all necessarily. I mean, you guys can Google, like Google's a great resource for just general stuff with some of this, of learning what different types of anxieties there are, like the different diagnoses. And if you're really concerned with your own mental health, go see someone, go see a doctor, go see a therapist, go see a psychiatrist.
I am curious, and obviously I know this because I'm a therapist, but I want to know how you explain to people the difference between anxiety and stress.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Well, we often confuse anxiety with stress.
Mm-hmm.
So the way that I explain it to clients specifically is stress is something that's happening that I probably can take care of,
Mm,
right? Or I just have a lot going on and I feel stressed about getting it all done. Right. Anxiety is more, in my opinion, fear, like I said earlier, fear of the unknown. I am anxious about things that are out of my control. It's keeping, it's damaging my body. It's keeping me awake.
mm-hmm.
Stress can do the same thing if we stress too much and if we are constantly living under stress.
Mm,
Right. So, like workaholics are stressed, and oftentimes they're health issues stem from stress, but it's not anxiety necessarily,
yes.
right?
It's
Um,
like a deeper part of the nervous system is activated with
yeah,
anxiety, where stress is a little more of that kind of
yeah,
more surface level,
yeah.
yeah,
I,
tension.
I, I literally wrote down stress is a normal physical response to events that make one feel threatened or that upsets one's balance in some way. When the body senses danger, real or imagined, the body's defense kicks into high gear in a rapid automatic process known as fight or flight reaction, or also known as the stress response. The nervous system, like you said, responds by releasing a flood of stress hormones, including adrenaline and cortisol, that arouses the body for emergency action.
Yeah, it's funny as you're reading that, I'm thinking about in grad school, I took a class. No, not grad school. It was at CU. You might have taken it too. It was a psychophysiology class. No, it
Hmm.
was cognitive psychology, but there was one part of it that was psychophysiology.
Hmm.
And I read this book called Why Zebras Don't Get Ulcers,
Hmm.
because humans are the only creature that
Hmm.
has this level of stress response. So animals will do things like freeze. We've all seen the goats, the fainting goats. Like
Yeah.
animals absolutely have a system in place in their bodies for different situations, but we are the only creature that has long-term stress like this, that has a physical impact. And we're certainly the ones that have the type of traumatic memories that we have where there's
Hmm.
imagery associated with it. And so, anyway, it's just an interesting read to think about how much of our medical issues actually have a root in psychology. And it's not a small amount. And chronic stress over time puts
Hmm.
us at risk for all kinds of things.
Hmm.
So,
Yep. That's
absolutely.
wild about us and animals. I've heard that. I probably took the same class.
Yeah. And it was really kind of, I was discovering around that time that I really did have more anxiety than the average bear.
Mhm.
But learning more about what that looks like in the body, it started to explain things in a new way for me. I didn't really have a sleep
Mhm.
problem. I had more of an anxiety problem that was affecting my sleep,
Yep.
right? When I solve the anxiety, when I treat the anxiety, my sleep tends to resolve a little bit better.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas in an animal, the stress in the body is more likely to be caused by a physical problem.
Correct. Yeah.
Right. So it's
Yeah.
just a little bit different.
Yeah. So one of the things that I wrote down is what's the impact of stress? So stress during development has often been regarded as a potential disruptive force capable of inducing disease. So like what that means is like what we're talking about, like ulcers, or it can cause, I mean, shoot, autoimmune diseases,
Oh, yeah.
all that kind of stuff. It can also, however, favor resilience and adaptive process that are crucial to navigating being a human.
That's so interesting because when we talk about the ACEs,
Uh-huh.
adverse childhood experiences, we know that there are physical health
Mhm.
ramifications of chronic stress in
Yes,
children.
which speaks to the disease part. Yeah.
It speaks to the disease part. And one of the things that I think is really important to consider, all is not lost if you've had a hard life or your kids have had a little bit of a rough start.
Mm-hmm.
They are so resilient. And some of the
Yes.
things that they learn can benefit their health long term. But what we
Yes.
want to do is intervene. We
Yes.
just have to intervene in appropriate ways.
Exactly. And it helps in a way. This might sound weird I might put it weirdly, but it's, I think of resilience as like a muscle.
Mm-hmm.
There are some individuals who've never really needed a ton of resilience because, low stress life,
Mm-hmm.
super healthy family systems, whatever, right? And so their resiliency might not be as strong as someone who's been through a lot of stuff
We see this in our work. We work with
all the time.
such a range of people who have had all different kinds of experiences, and each person is an individual. But if
Mhm.
we take two clients, one that has been exposed to chronic stress their whole life, and
Mhm.
one that gets in trouble, and this is quite literally the most stressful thing that's ever happened to them,
Mhm.
they present very differently in treatment.
Yep.
And I really do enjoy the resilience of our clients
Mhm.
because one is going to learn, maybe for the first time, how to truly be resilient. Typically, they learn it from someone who's had to be resilient.
Mhm.
But I will say also, some of my clients who've had trauma, they don't love it when you say, "Oh, you're so resilient," because they feel like it minimizes what they've been through.
Yeah.
But it is just a fact that those folks
Yeah.
have stronger adaptive muscles when
Yep.
things go awry.
Yes. Well, and I've also had people who are resilient because of the traumas they've gone through and the
Mhm.
stress that they've had to go through. They'll say, I didn't ask to be resilient. I
Yeah.
didn't ask for this,
And they probably,
but I had to be.
I had to be, and they probably wouldn't trade the resilience they've gained for the things that they've gone through necessarily. So that's not an assumption we want to make.
No, no. I mean, yeah, I have a couple people in my life who, if you know, when you say, hey, you're resilient, they actually hate it because it's like, I don't want to have to be like this. I don't
Mm-mm.
want to have to be like this. And there's the the good side of resilience, but there's shadow sides to resilience because it will impact other areas. Like
Yeah.
if someone had to be resilient from a really young age and learn how to survive,
Mhm.
shoot, look at their attachment style. It's going to be, like
Yeah.
it's not going to be secure.
No, and they might not know how to ask for help.
Exactly. Yep.
Yeah.
Or be too dependent, codependent on when they do get help,
Also true.
you
Yeah.
know. Yep.
How can we cope? So if we're in a stressful season, Nat, like we've
Hmm.
got the holidays coming up, it's always kind of stressful.
Hmm.
What are some really good coping skills for stress? We've talked about anxiety. Anxiety, talk to doctor, maybe medication, maybe supplements, maybe whatever to deal with full-blown capital A anxiety.
Yeah.
What about just your garden issue stress this time of year? What are some coping skills?
Well, I wrote down a few. So maintaining this, people are going to be like, screw you, Natalie. Maintaining.
This sounds great. Let's see if we can do it.
Yeah, right. Maintaining an optimistic but realistic outlook.
Hmm.
That can help manage stress.
Reasonable expectations.
Yes, you guys, especially if your family members and your spouses and
Oh,
children, like just, and if someone doesn't do the thing, just kindly ask them to do the thing again. Who gives a rat's butt if you have to re-ask?
you're
Everyone's
welcome,
stressed.
Tina. Also, you know, my husband was really giving me crap before I came up to do this episode because he
Oh
was
no.
like, "You're going to talk about anxiety?" And I was like, "Yes. Okay, those who can't do teach, right? Like I can at least help other people." But
Exactly.
I am committed this year to managing my expectations and the expectations of the people that love me so that I
Great.
do not overdo it.
I love that.
Yes.
Perfect.
So join me. Join me in this coping skill.
I
Low
already have low
expectations.
expectations.
You do. You
I just
actually do.
I start low and then I'm usually pleasantly surprised.
Oh, you will be very happy with your Christmas present. Don't even stress
Yay!
about
I'm
it.
I'm always happy.
I
So
know.
I'm with, expectations. I'm happy. I'm not always happy.
Mm-mm. Black cat.
Yeah. I'm actually people can't tell when I'm happy most of the time.
100%.
They're like, "Are you okay?" I'm like, "Yeah." They're like, "Oh, okay. Your face says something different."
I'm just thinking.
Yeah, I'm like, "I'm just chilling. It's fine."
Oh,
Um, Facing your fear, so ability to confront fears that you have,
mm-hmm.
that can help manage your stress. So, like my fear of finishing this freaking application,
Yes, you're gonna do it.
I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna just send it tonight, and hopefully, our supervisor just gets it Monday and is like, "I hate these girls. I'm gonna just submit it."
Like he's tired of sending them back.
He's like, you're done.
You're done. It's all good.
Resilience upon own inner moral compass. So managing yourself is how I take that.
Yeah. Like,
Um,
don't mow someone over in the parking lot because they took your parking spot. Like, let's not do that.
yeah, like you know what? Get the
I did
extra,
have to counsel someone who did that one time. They didn't mow someone over,
but they got real
but they
pissed.
got in a real fight over a parking spot.
Was it an anger management group that we used to run?
No, it was a really long time ago, but it was it was a really bad situation, and it was around the holidays, and it was over a parking spot at like I think it was at a restaurant. It wasn't even like at a store, but it was a big fight. And actually, what happened was one person got out of the car pretty angry. The other person, it freaked them out. And so as they were stepping back, they stepped off the curb
Mm.
and fell down and actually got injured pretty
Oh,
badly. Because you just never know. You never know what's going to happen.
yeah.
So anyway, but yeah, over a parking place.
Well, also, y'all, people, and I'm sorry, people are crazy nowadays. So,
Yeah,
like,
don't mess with people.
you just never know if someone's carrying a gun or what's going on,
Yeah,
you
it's
know?
just not worth it.
You
Or
know,
pull a Janine and just park up on a curb somewhere and just hope for the best.
or just pull a Natalie and park far and get your steps in.
Yeah, yeah, that's adorable. I like the curb option myself.
Oh my gosh. Turning to religious or spiritual practices. Y'all pray, get good vibes, send good vibes. Whatever your thing is, just
Whatever
do
your thing
the
is,
thing.
yoga, and there is some really interesting research around prayer
Yes,
being something that is calming to people. So
it's so calming.
whether it's meditation for you or whatever it is, there is really something to slowing down and
Yes.
being reflective.
Even if it's something short. I got to give an example today. I was on the phone trying to figure out my insurance with my ambulance bill because, that's still a freaking thing in my world.
So annoying.
And I literally like got it. I think I got it figured out. And looked, I was looking in my fridge and then I put my hands up like this, like, like just like praise the Lord.
Yeah.
But I said, Jesus, take the wheel. I
Yeah.
can't.
Oh,
Like I
100%.
did, I did the best I could today with the situation. Jesus, take the wheel.
I can't fix it.
I can't.
I
I
can't
did.
fix it.
I literally did their jobs calling each other and getting the things that they need to send each other because they're like, well, they didn't reach out to me. Well, they didn't reach out to me. I don't give a shit who reached out to who. Tell me what y'all need to do, and I'll tell you what to do.
I love this one too on here, imitation of sturdy role models. I
Oh, yes.
love the word sturdy because I consider myself sturdy. My
Uh-huh.
maiden name was Stout, like teapot.
Oh, yeah.
So I mean, like legit, we are the short and stouts. I mean, we are sturdy
You're
folks.
sturdy.
And I think that there is something to hitching your wagon to sturdy people
Mm-hmm.
and imitating them. And so I
Yep.
had mentors growing up who they're just kind of unflappable. They're just really sturdy. And I've tried to emulate that too.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, Aspen's gonna make an appearance, isn't she?
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
Our little mascot. Oh, no, she got down. Okay.
She's like, nope, I'm gonna go antagonize the neighbor. Be back later.
Other coping skills, staying physically fit, getting exercise. Exercise
Yes.
looks different for everybody, y'all. If you're not like a weightlifter or runner, go for a walk.
Oh
Um,
yeah.
do
Moving
some,
is good.
do
Moving
some,
is good.
yes, do some stretching.
Mm-hmm.
Stretching actually really helps with stress. Because when we're stressed, we tense everything up. And so when we can like loosen it out, our body actually starts to relax and we can sleep better.
I'm gonna add massage to this too, because that is something that's been a game changer for me.
Yes. Massage, that's huge. Staying mentally sharp. So reading, doing things that help your brain.
Coffee. Coffee's not good for anxiety, but it is good for mental sharpness.
Yeah, dude, I cannot. I'm not okay if I don't have some form of caffeine.
Same. But if you have really severe anxiety, you probably shouldn't lay off the caffeine a little bit.
Yes, yeah. If I actually have a client who she loves coffee, but she can't have caffeine because it's so anxiety inducing.
Yep.
So that's a real thing. And then cognitive and emotional flexibility, finding a way to accept that which cannot be changed. Y'all, radical acceptance.
Radical acceptance.
And then looking for meaning and opportunity in the midst of adversity. So trying to look at the things that are difficult and challenging and not necessarily having to make it a positive thing, but just look for how can I learn from this? What can I do better as I move through this? Right?
Absolutely.
So, for you, Janine, what are some coping skills that you can use while you're gearing up for your surgery, also gearing up for the holidays? What's something that you can do that maybe you don't always do that you could try differently or try that's different?
What can I do better? Definitely for me, I have to drink water because I get headaches when I'm dehydrated, and
Mhm.
that makes everything harder and it makes my stress bigger.
Mhm.
I am choosing to see the 2 weeks off with the surgery as an opportunity to spend time with my son
Mhm.
because I don't get to spend a ton of time with him, and he's so excited to
Mhm.
be with me those 2 weeks. And so I'm just reframing it a little bit because it's actually really stressful to miss work this time of year as a therapist because our clients need us, and we're trying to get all our work done before the end of the year. But I'm
Mhm.
really looking at it as an opportunity, and I
Mhm.
am going to read. I'm going to make time to read because I got to put my phone away. My
Good.
phone makes me feel more stressed.
Yeah, same.
What about you? What are you going to focus on to get through?
I think I am going to probably try to pray more because I know when I do actually pray, it
Mm,
helps my mental health a lot and it helps my stress level a ton because and anxiety. There are just
yeah.
things that are out of my control. And the more I, spin about it, the worse I get. And so
I think
I
the more I pray, the better the people around me do because I treat them better. But
see, because you're less stressed.
it's good for your mental state.
So good. So I think I'll do that. I like to journal, like what I'm.
Hmm.
And then I also think I need to read more. I don't love reading, but I do know that I enjoy how I feel when I read. It's kind of like working out.
Sarah Moss. Just skip to the second book.
I'm on the second book.
I'll read it with you.
I'm on the second book. I can't pick, but see, it's fantasy, so it's like I put it down and it's easy for me to not pick it back up.
Oh,
But I'll pick it back up. It's on my nightstand.
pick it back up and then we'll talk about it.
Okay,
That'll be great.
perfect.
So, forensic friends, I hope that you will find ways to
Mhm.
rest, be with your people, manage your stress, and enjoy the holidays,
Mhm.
not just kind of survive them.
Yes, and as always,
Bye, forensic friends. I'm Janine.
and I'm Nat.
And as always, thanks for listening and join us next week for more crime, psychology, and heart.